And are you the founder of Sad Boy Social Club?
Yeah,
Or
I founded it and I direct most of it.
you direct most of it? Oh, very cool, very cool. Sad Boy Social Club it's a sketch comedy. You guys do live shows. You guys do
We do
um,
live shows, we do videos.
yeah.
We really like doing the live shows, though. That's most of where our writing's gone.
That's awesome. Those are fun. Those are more, I don't know. I mean, obviously being stand up, that's what I prefer is the live shows, the energy of the audience and stuff. It's kind of
Yeah.
why haven't done any Zoom comedy shows yet. Stand up shows. But yeah, no, so I started this group to sort of keep everybody positive during this time. We're going to see a rise in mental illness and such due to everybody being quarantined and unemployment rates and things like that. But it's also very important, remaining positive is not the same as ignoring your feelings and
No.
ignoring emotions. And your podcast, which is called Let the Hate Flow Through You, it celebrates hate. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I love
Yeah,
that.
it does. It's I'm of the opinion that not dealing with your hatred is just going to make it fester. So
Mhm.
part of what we try to do is figure out the root of it and get it out in the open.
Yeah. And you cover some it's a wide range of things that you cover. You covered from like small annoyances, like I was on an episode and what I did was deodorant just because I'm frustrated with the world of deodorant and that it's linked to causing cancer and all this stuff. You've had people on that have like specific issues with public schools. And then you've had also like mental illness stigma. You've had 2 episodes on that. Like you
Yeah.
cover a wide range of things that from the mundane frustrations to all the way to the absolute like hard topics.
Yeah, well, it's we have the guests come on and bring what they want to hate on.
Yeah.
And some people, their hate runs deep for something important, and
Mhm.
some people it doesn't. But we're able to take it either way and run with it.
Yeah. Or do you ever encounter anyone who you try to change their minds on their hatred or
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think it's more there's specific parts of what they're talking about that I disagree with.
Okay.
Like, we had somebody on that their solution to a problem was to call the cops, which of course is not me.
Right.
So we got into a little row about that. I've gotten into fights about healthcare several times because I work in the field. So
Yeah.
it's, when people are saying, I don't want to pay for this, you're already paying for it. So it's a stupid argument to have.
Yeah. Right. Um, so, I mean, are you going to have like a whole new set of episodes just on your experience of healthcare during this time?
Uh, During this time, no, no, I don't blame anybody for being scared, and I don't blame any, like, I work in the mental health care field,
Yeah.
and I really don't blame any of us for being frustrated because, you know,
There's a lot. There's a lot to be scared and frustrated by.
yeah, and then you've got people that, they're relying on their groups and their one-on-ones to kind of get them through the week, get them through the day, and all those are canceled and switched to telemedicine. And some
Mhm.
people are comfortable with the equipment for it, and some people can't have a safe conversation in their home. So there's a
Right.
lot going on with that.
Right. I actually spoke with a friend today, just a conversation. She's a therapist, and she was talking about how challenging it is for her because she deals primarily with children, and it's one of those things where it's like you can't see their hands, you can't see below, and she's worried about these children committing suicide or doing something harmful, and then she's like, I can't tell what they're doing in
Yeah,
the actual space. So it presents all these challenges for both the healthcare professionals and for the patients. So it's very frustrating right now.
it really is. But we don't have a choice. We gotta get through it. So
Mhm. Mhm. Have you seen any sort of like I don't know, from your perspective, both as a comedian and a healthcare professional, like, are you feeling like people are banding together interviewing or
Some, I
some, yeah,
mean, it's all the banding together has been online because, we're all supposed to stay
stay
away from each other.
home. Yeah.
So it's,
Mm,
it doesn't seem real when it's that disconnected to me sometimes. But
mhm.
I mean, there have been extra outreach efforts being made on the healthcare front just to try to help as many people be comfortable with this new system as they can. But
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a learning opportunity for everybody. Um, what back to the podcast though, what specifically, when did you guys start it and what and why, I guess?
I started in 2016.
Mhm.
I had done Jordan's old podcast, which he just restarted, called the Fatitude Era,
Nice.
which is a wrestling podcast.
And
And
Jordan, of course, he's your co-host for anyone who hasn't witnessed the experience of Let the Hate Flow Through You.
yeah, Jordan is my co-host, but we did his old podcast, and I realized we worked pretty well together.
Mhm.
And I met a guy with a studio who was willing to do all the stuff that I didn't want to do, like the recording and the mixing.
Mm,
Um, and I had Jordan, my co-host, and I had this concept in my head for a while. So we just ran with it. And aside from a break when I went to Colorado for a year, we've been running since 2016.
that's so great. Where do people primarily listen to it, or where do you recommend people listen to it?
Um, honestly, it's a good car ride podcast.
Mhm.
If you just plug it in, like it's on every podcast app. You just have to search for it. I always put the link out to the audio boom just because it has everything there. But
Listed there. And that's
yeah,
what, yeah, that's what I'll use for for the comments here to make sure people know where to access it. But I always like to ask the artists themselves, like if there's a platform that they prefer, because sometimes like you get monetary value from some, or sometimes it just helps you your vision if, on a one platform versus the other. So I always
I
like to check.
mean, as long as people listen to it, like if it's Stitcher, if it's iHeart, if it's Spotify, if it's iTunes,
Yeah.
however you want to listen to it.
Hmm. Very cool. Are you doing any episodes remotely right now, or is it on hold?
Yeah, we're trying to work out Zoom and
Yeah.
see how that works because our friend Jess Fallstick uses it for her podcast, the default setting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I and then I've got some old friends that just contacted me to do something over Zoom, so I'm gonna
Cool.
mess with it over the next couple of days, and hopefully we'll have an episode in time for Monday's release.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
we I generally don't like to do remote podcasts only because a lot of what I'm doing is like getting a read on what people are experiencing while they're doing the podcast, and that directs the
Yeah.
next question, and that's a little harder to do remotely.
Mhm. No, definitely. It is. I mean, like I was saying earlier, like it's so different than having the energy of being in front of somebody, whether that's a full audience or whether it's just person to person talking. It's really different. I know when me and you did did the episode, it was, we had the sound mixer in the room as well. We had Jordan in the room, obviously, since he was a co-host. If you had me, there was an energy to it of all of us
Yeah,
interacting, and that's lost when it's remotely.
yeah,
Um, but I mean, it's fortunate that we live in a time where we do have the technology to do this.
yeah.
Um, and it's like we've been joking. It's like, gosh, buy stock in Zoom. That seems to be like that's where everyone's going. That's what's kind of keeping everyone together, which is cool. Uh,
Yep.
so what about Sad Boys Social Club?
That also started in 2016. I had been in a couple other sketch groups before with some friends of
Mhm.
mine that didn't really get off the ground.
Yeah.
So I just decided I'm going to do it and I'm going to run things. And we ran 8 months of shows in at Michelle's in Kent when
Okay.
Stone Tavern was doing the booking there
Hmm.
with a new show every month.
Mm.
and brought in people to do roast battles, and then we started making videos, and it's just grown and grown and grown from there. We've done shows in like 3 different states.
So,
We're trying to get into festivals just to, you know, whatever stage we can get on, we're happy to do it. And
yeah.
these Voltron shows that Michael Bush has been running have been amazing.
Oh,
But
really?
yeah,
Nice.
you get a small taste of 4 different groups, and prior to us, it was just like Pizza Money and Last Call, and
Mm-hmm.
now there's like a bunch of different groups popping up, and everybody has their own different approach to sketch, and having all those on one show has been a lot of fun.
That's awesome. That's fun. I had going to comedy, I had a similar experience. Obviously, I went stand-up route with it, but my background was in improv,
Mm.
and I was trying to form a couple different improv troupes with people, and I got frustrated, and I was like, "What can I do that's alone?"
Yeah.
Just totally alone because I was getting so tired of people, and so I ended up forming just doing stand-up, and that's where I found. But that's interesting that you went the route of like forming a group that you're like, I'm in control, but of this group. Yeah,
Well, it's all people that I know and trust, and
work
you
well
know,
together.
yeah, we work well together. We all want the same thing, to put on a good show, and we've got other projects in the works that are sketch related that
Mhm,
hopefully will be done soon, but we'll see. Um,
mhm.
and it's just the thing that's really held it together is we meet every week and we accomplish something, and that's been difficult
Yeah.
with the stay-at-home order because we've canceled our meetings. Um,
Mm.
so this is the first time we haven't met in like 4 years. So
Wow, that's challenging.
yeah,
Well, that's gotta be, like, almost a withdrawals just from that, of having that group.
yeah. I mean, it really is. It's like Hateflow and Sad Boys have been my life since I moved back, and
Yeah,
not doing it is
it's
like
hard.
we've always got something that we're prepping for. So
Mhm.
there's always work to be done, and
Yeah,
I'd rather be doing that.
right. I love that you guys set the intention of we meet once a week and we so one thing done, one goal accomplished.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's more than one.
Yeah, right.
Um, yeah, because a lot of times like we're rehearsing leading up to a show,
Uh-huh.
but we've got like a shoot scheduled that we also have to prep for, and
Mm.
oh, this costume needs to be figured out right now, and it's just whatever we can get done.
Yeah. That's very cool though. I think that's important because I mean so many times, I don't know, comedians we can run off the rails real fast
Yeah,
and a meeting can go real quick into just talking and joking and laughing and drinking beers and whatever. It can get off
yeah,
the rails real fast. So that's great that you start out with the intention of like we're just gonna get one thing done. If you get more done, awesome, but
yeah.
just one thing done.
Well, the one of the groups I was in prior to Sad Boys, our one of our meetings devolved into a 3-hour roast session about somebody's business cards. So
Was it somebody in the group or
yeah, yeah, they were like, "Hey, check out these business cards I just got," and they were ridiculous, and he ended
Oh
up
my
taking them
god.
all out of his front door after we left.
But that's, I mean, that's accomplishing something. I don't know.
I
It's
mean,
not quite the, not quite helpful, but it's something, I guess.
hopefully he still has those business cards because they were awful, but
Oh my god, that's fantastic.
should give them to everybody in LA.
Oh yeah. What what are you guys I guess what I'm asking is how can anyone support you right now during this time and um
Well, I mean, Sad Boys have decided to like port over a lot of their stuff from their YouTube channel over to Facebook. So if you like the Sad Boys Social Club Facebook page, we're putting out as much content as we have every day.
cool. Oh, very
Um,
good.
so we put out like our last show at the Voltron show. We put out a
Mhm.
couple other live sketches and our videos, which this will be a couple weeks worth of stuff, and as soon as we're back out of the house, we'll be doing another show. Like, I've already paid deposits. We're gonna get this done.
Nice. Very nice. I like that. I mean, it's good. It's good right now, I think, for everybody to have something to look forward to. Especially in times of uncertainty. And I think comedians especially, like, we have to have that understanding that's like, we're gonna go back. We're gonna
Yep.
have this venue, we're gonna do this. Because we will. And so it's good to, like, I don't know, I feel like people right now, we're all kind of getting comfortable where we're staying home, we're watching movies, we're not really um focusing so much on our craft, and I feel like that's the thing that's actually going to be helping us through this. I mean, don't get
Yeah,
me wrong, I'm watching my fair share of Netflix and stuff, but it's also like creating and looking forward to the shows that are coming after this is what's really going to help save us all.
yeah, that's part of it. But I also appreciate people that are just trying to create what they can
Yeah.
in this environment, whether it's just, I see people bad mouthing as like, oh no, all these people that aren't making good at videos and podcasts are doing videos and podcasts. Like, you gotta do something
Yeah. Right.
to keep creating. And it's, people will figure out that it's different muscles that are working when you're doing that. But
Hmm.
at least given the opportunity to work that out, it's the same as if somebody was coming to a mic. It's just, there's more people looking on Facebook. It doesn't matter.
Hmm.
I mean, everybody's gonna. I've seen some fun stuff that people just pulled out of nowhere,
Yeah.
and you know, it's whatever gets you through it. Like, I'm working on stuff to do on Facebook Live with my roommate, just to have something that, we wrote a sketch
Yeah.
and we're gonna do it.
Well, it's the same thing as like the intentions for the meeting. It's like I accomplished something today. I did something, I
Mhm.
accomplished it, and yeah, I'm all for it. Like, whatever people feel like creating right now. Actually, one of my favorite things, I think it was I don't know if you're part of the Ohio Comedy Facebook group, and
Um,
I can't remember who manages that group, but one of my favorite things was,
Bergman.
when this started, he just made this long post being like, you know what? It's wartime rules. Whatever you want to post, I don't care. Like, just start making stuff, pump stuff on here. It doesn't matter. All your shitty sketches that I usually delete, I don't care. And I was like, that's great. Like, I appreciate him just being like, just go free and create stuff, because really, like, at this time, that's what's keeping all of us, especially comedians, going. It's like we're just
Yeah.
trying new things and experimenting. I mean, that was the point of this group for me, is like, um, I'm not. I don't know. I'm not really the type to write sketches and stuff like that. I mean, maybe if I
Right.
actually sat down and thought about it, but this was more of what I wanted to do, was actually talk to people and see what everybody else was making and creating, and that's sort of my way of having an outlet to it. So, yeah,
Okay.
it's cool that everybody else is like doing their own thing, whatever that may be.
Yeah. And some of us are getting cooped up together and making stuff, but
Yeah.
we'll see what
Uh-huh.
happens. Maybe they'll give us a day pass or something, and we can actually go do a show. But
That would be nice. That'd be good. Well, I'm sure too, you could probably do something on Zoom as well, show wise.
yeah, it's just really weird when you're doing stuff that relies so much on timing for a live audience and you don't have that timing there. You know what I mean?
Yes. It's like when, if you've ever seen like a sitcom where the laugh track's been removed and it's just that awkward, awkward
Mhm.
pauses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of what it feels like. But
Yeah, I feel like that's what we would have to do on Zoom is do the awkward pause for laughter, which I don't know how many like sets you've seen where people are pausing for laughter that doesn't come. And
yeah,
that's what I feel like I would be doing if I'm pausing for laughter that isn't there.
right. And so you'd be pausing and be like, is that a like button? Did someone just press like? Okay, keep going. Next joke.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I really appreciate what you're doing as far as the podcast and Sad Boy Socials Club. Like, I think the fact that you guys that you tackle these, especially on the podcast, I should say, the fact that you tackle the hard emotions, the hate, feeling hate, feeling angry. I mean, that stuff is so important. And I think it's important for people to get it out. You primarily have comedians on the podcast, right?
Yeah, we've had a couple of wrestlers and actors and actresses.
Mm-hmm.
We have a guy that owns a clothing line. But it's just, because I book most of the guests and I've been doing comedy for 15 years. I know a lot of comics. So,
Sure. Well,
and
also, comedy's found in the pain of it. So
mhm.
comedians are able to quickly turn something we hate into a joke real fast.
Oh yeah, I mean that's how a lot of us deal.
Yeah. Um, but no, I really do appreciate you tackling those issues and getting that out for people. And I think it's a good, uh, it's such a fun podcast to listen to. And I
Thank
think,
you.
yeah, I hope more people pay attention to it right now, especially because everyone's got time right now. It's like you got
Mhm.
time to listen to something. And I recommend that one because it's just such a I don't know, it's fun to listen to people get angry.
Yeah,
It's fun listening to, sort of the irrational and working it out and all together. So yeah, I appreciate what you're doing.
thank you.
Yeah. Like I said, if there's any way that we can support you, like I don't know if you guys sell merchandise at all. Like I said, we'll drop links to your the groups and stuff like that on here so everyone can watch. I know
Yeah,
you've shared a couple of the Sad Boys stuff within the group, which I appreciate. Keep doing that, and
will do.
yeah, keep
Let
creating,
me.
man, because you're good at it.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah,
Yeah.
just search "Let the Hate Flow Through You" and whatever podcast app you like, you'll find it. And the ones I recommend for new listeners, um, it depends on like what kind of. If you love drama, we have an old episode with Corey McCardle about her arch enemy that
Oh, really?
is one of my favorites. And the for comedy nerds, so there's a lot for comedy nerds.
Right.
But my favorite's probably people who are easily offended with Brennan Schoen when we recorded up in Kalamazoo.
Uh-huh.
But as far as like these are friends just kicking back around, the last one we did with Tim Cornette about hitting dogs is probably one of my favorite ones.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't think it's such a terrible topic.
Yeah, right.
It's Tim and I riffing for an hour. It's great.
Well, that's the fun of the podcast. It's like some of the issues are truly terrible, but that's like you guys work through it, and that's what's fun about it.
Yeah,
That's the positive end of it is, working through stuff like that.
yeah.
Nice. Well, I really appreciate you joining me today, and I appreciate what you're doing as far as your day job career in the healthcare industry, and then also, like I said, what you're doing for comedians and people alike with Sad Boy Social Club and Let the Hate Flow Through You.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining me, and we'll talk soon.
All right.
Thanks.
All right. Bye-bye.